This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now Duane and Lance discuss soil testing and soil health.
Duane Thames joining you once again with Ag AM in Kansas, and an opportunity to catch up with Lance Gunderson with Ward Labs, talking about soil testing and understanding what's going on below the soil surface. Things have changed a lot, Lance, in the last 5 or 10 years in particular relative to the time prior to that. It's not just about NP and K anymore.
Yeah, you're exactly right. As a soil testing lab, we've seen a lot. We've been around quite a long time. And for the most part, a lot of our soil testing has been centered around, chemical interactions with the soil and the plant. And we're trying to help farmers maximize the use of water and the use of nutrients to help maximize yields in the field. And, this new movement with soil health, and I say new, but I guess just because it's gaining so much momentum, it's the ideas are not new, but they're certainly coming to the forefront. And as a laboratory, it's kind of our responsibility to step up and try to adopt a few of these new tools. And I certainly say that because they are tools, they're new, and we don't want to dismiss the old things that we've been doing. I mean, there's a very good foundation there. But with some of these new things, we're able to start to integrate things like biology, testing, some of the more of the physical parameters of the soil, that how this whole system ties together. And the goal is still the same. We want to maximize our nutrient use efficiency. We want to maximize the resources with the farmer's best interest in mind.
You mentioned a word that I want to get back to, and that's biology, because we haven't always looked at it that way. But when we think about activity below ground, it's a microcosm of extreme proportions.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. We know so little about the biology of the soil, but at the same time, we know so much. It's a glass half empty and half full all at the same time. And we're learning more every day. It's really becoming one of those amazing fields to work in and to talk with. It's fantastic to hear producers talk about biology, and they start to understand that, it's not just about what's above ground and what they can put in the grain bin, but it's about feeding the system and keeping the microbes running. And I learned from a wonderful company today about the plant biome and how we can basically cater the microbes to the plant and cater the soil to the plant, and how we can start to work with this through the system. So it's really been an amazing time, and we're just starting to kind of crack the surface with some of these tests. One of them is the Haney Soil Health Test, developed by Dr. Rick Haney and his colleagues down in Temple, Texas, working at the ARS station down there. And we also run a phospholipid fatty acid test, kind of a mouthful there. But that's another way to start looking at biology. We're really gearing up. We're getting on board. We're going to start running some soil enzyme tests. We're going to start looking at enzymatic activity in the soil and what that can tell us as it relates to nutrient cycling and residue decomposition and some of those things. So it's an exciting time in soil testing.
Talking about all of those issues, really it's about that life cycle and looking at soil as a living organism rather than a snapshot that we used to with the soil test.
Yeah, absolutely. It one of the frustrations measuring soil and with soil testing is that when you start factoring in biology and you start talking about a living system, living things are very rarely static. If they're static, they're dead. And so we're trying to hit a moving target, right? And as if farmers' lives weren't difficult enough with all that they do, now we're trying to understand and measure a living target and relate that to decisions that they're going to make in the field. One of the wonderful things, though, when we consider biology and we start using biology, we can build resilient systems. So soil systems that are healthy, much like human beings, if you're healthy and you live a healthy lifestyle, you're not as sick as often, you feel better, you're more productive. We can make soils that way.
All right, thanks to Lance Gunderson, Ward Labs, joining us here on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Come back after the break for some optimistic outlooks for the cattle business.
This is Eric Stonestreet, and as many of you know, I love my home state of Kansas. In March, Kansas ranchers lost homes, equipment, and thousands of cattle from the largest wildfires in the state's history. Imagine losing all you have in a fire. Not just your house, but your livelihood. Ranchers are beginning to rebuild, but it will take years and tens of millions of dollars to build back herds, fences, and other infrastructure. Today, I'm asking you to help. Donate what you can and show your support to the ranchers of Kansas. Simply go to kansasfires.com. Your donation is tax deductible and will go to those who need it the most.